Hello, you are watching Shalom World News. I'm Rory McLennan coming to you from Glasgow, Scotland. Here are the latest headlines from around the world. Now, here is some good news for the Church. The Vatican's daily newspaper L'Osservatore Romano has reported that the number of Catholics across the world at the end of 2019 exceeded 1.34 billion, marking an increase of 16 million. Quoting the Statistical Yearbook of the Church, the report says there has been a 1.12% increase in the number of believers compared to 2018, while the global population went up by 1.08%. There has been a marked increase in the number of Catholics in all continents except Europe. According to the report, 48% of Catholics in the world are in the Americas, followed by 21% in Europe, 18% in Africa, and 11% in Asia. In crisis at Myanmar, the brutal crackdown on peaceful pro-democracy protesters is continuing. The Buddhist-majority nation has been witnessing daily protests against the military junta ever since it took over power in a coup on February the 1st. According to human rights organisation Assistance Association for Political Prisoners, 510 civilians, including children and youths, have been killed by security forces. On Monday, 14 civilians were gunned down by troops, and detentions and arrests continue unabated. The worst bloodbath took place on March the 27th, when 107 people, including children, were massacred by security forces. The Catholic Church continues to play the role of peacemaker, as well as that of champion of human rights and peace in the country. With the United States witnessing a spurt in the number of hate crimes targeting Asians, Archbishop Salvatore Cordileone of San Francisco has come out with a statement urging an end to the violence. In his statement, he says the rise in violence against Asian-originated people is alarming and horrific, adding that his city has always been an epicenter of Asian American culture. The statement reminds Catholics that they belong to a global faith community that is diverse and exhorts them to show respect for all people. Seeking an end to violence and racism, the Archdiocese of San Francisco will conduct a prayer service on April the 10th at the Cathedral of St. Mary of the Assumption. Earlier this month, 6 women of Asian descent were killed in a shooting spree at 3 Atlanta massage parlours. After the pandemic restrictions were put in place in England and Wales in March of last year, more than 70,000 women have undergone DIY home abortions. This figure was revealed by Care for Women, an association of pro-life groups. Activists championing the sanctity of life have been urging British authorities to revoke the temporary permission for at-home abortion, terming such measures as a cruel experiment. The Health Department amended 2 laws to allow women to have abortions at home in the first 10 weeks of pregnancy by taking 2 drugs, mifepristone and misoprostol, which can be ordered by mail or collected from a clinic after a telephone or video consultation with a doctor. Pro-life groups say medical complications arising from such abortions are often underreported. In the Latin American nation of Colombia, which has been witnessing conflict between government troops and guerrilla groups for decades, 3 Catholic bishops have come out demanding a truce. Bishops Juan Carlos Barreto, Jesus Alvarez Gomez Hugo and Alberto Torres Martin have issued a statement appealing to the armed groups for a 100-day ceasefire. They stress the need for humanitarian agreements that open the horizon towards the required integral peace. Since January, there have been 14 armed conflicts between troops and fighters belonging to FARC, the largest guerrilla outfit in the country. Amid the conflict, the Church has a significant role in championing peace and offering humanitarian aid to innocent civilians. As the United Kingdom looks at significantly overhauling its asylum system, the lead Bishop of Migrants and Refugees of the Episcopal Conference of England and Wales has sought a just approach to those seeking asylum. Bishop Paul McAleenan has said the help provided to people fleeing war and poverty is a fundamental test of society. The bishop stressed that the just approach to asylum seekers should be family-centric, while respecting the circumstances and human dignity of everyone. The prelate echoes the exhortations of Pope Francis, who has often spoken supportively of refugees and has urged the faithful in Europe to welcome, protect and integrate refugees. While lockdowns following the COVID-19 pandemic outbreak have been difficult for people worldwide, a new study has indicated that children are suffering more. Katerina Anna Fuchs, a professor at the Pontifical Gregorian University who focuses on child protection, says the pandemic crisis has significantly increased the risk of children being exploited. Speaking at a two-day webinar organised by the World Union of Catholic Women's Associations, she calls for more major action against child abuse at the time of the coronavirus pandemic. She says incidents of violence and abuse against children have gone up during the lockdown, as have cases of online abuse of minors. She also pointed out the reports of the World Health Organization before the pandemic outbreak, stating that 25% of children across the globe face some form of abuse. And those are your latest headlines. Do join us again tomorrow. In the meantime, you can visit swnews.org for more updates. Shalom.